skeleton lady. Up here in the really cold areas, the last winter was exceptionally long and cold. Folk around here were beginning to run out of food and firewood. There was one old couple barely surviving. The wife said, "Oh, husband, I am so cold and hungry. Look at me. My hands are blue. I'm going to die, I'm sure of it." "Very well, my darling. I will go and search for food. But before I go, you must promise me one thing. You must not use the last 2 logs we have for the fire. We will need them to cook the food when I return." Okay, I agree. Just go, please. Find food." With that, the old man went out in search of food. Time passed, and the old man did not return. The fire was beginning to get lower and lower. "Where is he? I'm hungry. I'm freezing. I am sure I will die. I know. If I put just one of the logs on the fire, he will be back soon, and then we will still have one to cook the food with. Yes, that's what I'll do. Oh, that's much better. I'm so warm. He'll be back with food soon." The old lady forgot how hungry she was as she sat close to the warm fire. But more time passed, and still her husband did not return. It was beginning to get dusk outside, and again the fire was getting lower and lower. "Where is he? He must have found food and eaten it. I'm going to be left here to freeze. He must be back soon. If I put the last log on the fire, it will be hot and ready to cook on when he returns." With that, the old lady put the last log on the fire. But more time passed, and the old man was not back. The last log began to burn lower and lower, until all that was left was a tiny flicker. The old lady got closer and closer to the fire, then suddenly, ouch! She burnt herself on the fire, and she began to bleed. She placed a finger in her mouth to lick it. This tastes good. And then the old lady began to chew. So good. And chew, up her arm and around her body, until all that was left was a skeleton. That was so good. I feel much better, but I'm still hungry. Just at that moment, she heard the rustling outside, and the door opened. In came her husband with 2 rabbits in his hand. "Look, my wife, I found food." The old lady ran toward him and grabbed the rabbits. These are good. My husband, I've just noticed how meaty you are. Come here. I want to eat you. I want to meat." With that, the old man burst out the door and ran into the frozen forest as fast as he could. Behind him, the old lady was running. "I want meat. I'm going to eat you." Fortunately, the old man could run fast and began to escape his wife. He ran further and further into the snow. In the distance was the sound of the old lady. "I want meat. I'm going to eat you." Suddenly, the old man came to the edge of a huge gorge that went as far as he could see that way, and as far as he could see that way. There was no way across, and coming closer was the sound of the old lady. "I want meat. I am going to eat you." Then the old man noticed a small wooden cottage. He ran to it and banged on the door. The door opened on a chain, and a woman could be seen inside. "Yes? How can I help you?" "It's my wife. She's gone crazy. She's going to eat me." "Very well. I will help you. But first you must bring me a bucket of water." "What? She's going to eat me and you want water?" "Yes." Okay. The old man found a bucket and got some water from the well. He took it to the woman, who pulled out a ladle from her pocket and dipped it into the water. Yes. Very good. Now I will help you." In the distance, the sound of the skeleton lady was very close. "I want meat. I am going to eat you." The lady stood on the edge of the gorge and stamped her feet into the ground. Then she reached out and stretched to the other side and grabbed onto a tree. "Now you may cross." The old man walked carefully across the lady's back and reached the other side. Then the woman let go and bing, went right back to the other side. She returned to her house. Just then the skeleton lady arrived at the gorge. "I will get you, my husband. I will eat you. I want meat." She banged on the door of the house. Yes, can I help you? Hey, you are too skinny to eat. You will help me cross the gorge. Now! Very well, but I will help you. But first, you must bring me a drink of water. Help me now, or I'll eat you anyway. Okay. With that, the lady stood on the side of the gorge and stamped her feet into the ground. She stretched across and grabbed onto the tree. The old woman began to run across. I want meat! I will eat you! When she was halfway across, the lady let go and bing, went back to the start. I want meat! The skeleton lady fell to the ground and shattered to a million pieces. The lady continued to live in her little cabin by the gorge. And the old man, he retired to Florida.